Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new Age of Sigmar battle report. This time I wanted to play my Bretonnia army against the Sylvaneth of my friend. All elves are dark. So in that case I wanted to link a little bit this battle with the background of my army, or the background I'm working for my army. So I wanted to do just a small introduction. During the Age of Chaos, all free people was almost annihilated or subjugated to the gods of chaos. But little communities managed to survive out of the reach of the chaos. This is the battle of one of these communities, led by all dynasty of knights. They moved out to remote valleys of Atlas, where they survived out of the reach of chaos. They were in so remote area that they did not know when Sigmar strike back to chaos. But the realm gate that had been inactive for the last years suddenly started pulsing energy again. So, led by Gilfred and a group of knights, crossed the gate to know who was on the other side, and being scared that the enemy can use this gate to attack the little valleys. The prophetess, together with the bodyguard of Gravel Knights, decide to cross after the first striking force. Just after the crossing, most likely driven by a lot of years of isolation, they were attacked by the spirits of the forest, the Sylvaneth, living on the other side of the gates. In this battle, the Sylvaneth are attacking the prophetess and the bodyguard. If they manage to eliminate them, Sylvaneth will win the battle. On the other side, Gilfred leading the first wave of knights, are coming back to rescue the prophetess and eliminate the threat of the spirits of the forest. Knights will win if they eliminate Sylvaneth. So this is just a small introduction. It's representing a force that is exploring, and they go into the Giran realm, unknowing where this gate was going, as this gate was inactive and suddenly was active again. So the first group of knights just crossed the door, and after this first group of knights, the prophetess, together with the escort to the bodyguard of Gravel Knights, they crossed after. But just after crossing, they were attacked by the Sylvaneth. Most likely this conflict was because Sylvaneth was thinking that they were invaders, maybe from the Chaos Gods, so they did not recognize each other after all these long years of isolation. The scenario we are going to play is the first scenario on the first book of the Age of Sigmar. So we are going to play the scenario where there is initial force of invaders, that is going to be Morgana and the Gravel Knights. They have to kill them, and on the other side, the knights needs to kill all the Sylvaneth force. So what is the force we are going to have from each side? So my initial force, as I said, is the Fey Enchantress with 5 Gravel Knights. They are the ones that are being attacked, or they are being ambushed by the Sylvaneth, and then kill Lower Lencore plus 3 units of 10 railguns will come to rescue the Fey Enchantress. On the Sylvaneth we have Durtu, 3 men, Spellweaver, Branch Wraith, 2 Great Eagles, 20 Dryads, and 10 Hunting Hounds. We're still using some of the old rules for all of them, but yeah, it's not a problem. It's a question to get fun. So let's go first to the deployment and make some view of the battlefield. So you see in the center, more or less in the center of the table, we have the Realm Gate. This is the gate that the Fey Enchantress and the Gravel Knights used to cross, and the knights represent that they have crossed about some time, ahead of them, maybe some hours before them, and they are farther from the gate. But the knights didn't realize that in that forest there were living some creatures. So in this forest we have the Sylvaneth, and here we have in the first forest we have the Dryads. In the forest in the middle we have the 3 men, Durtu and the 3 men. At the photo at the bottom of the picture we have the hounds, and the eagles are hiding in the ruins of this demolished watchtower. Yeah, we have another overview. Not a lot of terrain in this battle. Was the first time that I was playing out of the shop Age of Sigmar, and that I'm playing Age of Sigmar at my home. And I wanted to try one of the scenarios. We are going to use more or less the core rules. So we are going to roll for initiative. We can shoot in any case. So we are not going to use the house rule of the shop. We are going to try to use as much as possible the rules of the book. The only thing that we are going to do different is that we consider that ones are always failures. So, and the reason for that is because I have the enchanters have a power that you can give +2 to hit to the knights. With that, you are hitting automatically with 1+. So, to be fair, I consider that one should be failing the hit. Yeah, here another overview. You see my knights are in the middle, trying to protect the fine enchantress, and then they are surrounded by the forces of the Sylvaneth. And in this scenario, the invader, that in my case is myself, the one that is can decide who is first, who has initiative in the first round, and I decide to go first. Because my intention here is try to get out of this center. Here I'm threatened by all sides, so I have to move out of here as fast as possible and try to resist until my knights are coming to rescue me. So let's start with the turn 1. Here we see again the picture in the turn 1. You see the eagles there, and my plan here. I first in the hero phase, I tried to use Mystic Shield. It went well. I tried to use the power that gives +2 to hit to the Evil Knights. I failed this one. Sorry. And then I use Immune to Battle Shock to the Evil Knights. And I decided to go ahead and try to charge the wolves as fast as possible. Try to get out of range of the 3 men, the dryads, and the eagles is impossible to get out of range. But really the ones that were scaring me are the 2-3 men, Durtu and the 3 men. I think they can completely destroy me in just one turn of combat. So my intention is try to move to the wolf, charge, and get as far as possible from there. I also move Morgana away from there. I want to put as much distance as possible, but I have to be careful because maybe the 2 eagles, I call Morgana because it's the name I want to give to her, but I mean the Frey Enchantress. But then the eagles can try to assault me and kill the Frey Enchantress, so I have to be careful with that. Here we have another view of after my movement. Yeah, I consider that the wolf or the hounds in that case are the weakest unit that I have in front of me. So if I can break the circle in that point, then I can have the cavalry can come into my rescue. I also have to say that the invader, so myself, I can decide from which side of the table the knights are coming, and you write this down secretly on the paper. So by doing this movement, I was moving to the edge where my knights have to come from. Then we go into the assault, and yeah, here the Guild Knights. I managed to charge with the Guild Knights. I managed to charge with the Frey Enchantress, and the Guild Knights demonstrate their power. I attack first with the Guild Knights. They completely destroy the wolves. So this is as before doing the attacks. Here we have a better close-up. I decided to put also the Frey Enchantress in combat. I think she's quite safe against the wolf. I'm not very scared about them. I have plus 5 armor. I think she can resist. And yeah, I just wanted to. And I think the knights will, if I do well, they should destroy the wolves. Here another picture of the combat. And this is the result. So I think after the attacks, I kill all except 4 wolves. Then the wolf attacked back. I don't think they did any single damage. Then he attacked back with also the sorcerer, because the sorcerer was within the 3 inches range. So she attacked to the knights, did nothing. And then in the battle shock, the rest of the hounds. Sorry, I call wolves sometimes because we're using wolves, but when I say wolf, I mean hounds. The hounds were destroyed in the battle shop. So this was a very good charge, and yeah, if I can capitalize on winning this position, then I can gain the necessary time for the knights to come in and rescue this striking force. Remember, the objective of the Sylvaneth is to kill these Gale Knights and the Fey Enchantress. If they kill them, I'm losing the battle. Here we have, at the end of the turn 1 of the Bretonnian. Okay, here another image. And we are ready to go to the turn 2 for the Sylvaneth. So we go into the turn 1 for the Sylvaneth. And yeah, he tried to catch me. He moved the eagles very fast. I think the objective of the eagles is try to kill the Fey Enchantress. And the Treeman also tried to move he realized that he's quite slow compared to the speed of my cavalry. But he ran with Durton, with the Treeman, trying to close the gap as fast as possible. But remember, in the next turn, we roll for initiative. And if the Sylvaneth have the initiative in the next turn, the Treeman and the Durtu can be in range to charge my Guild Knights, and they can destroy the Guild Knights very fast. Also, the Dryads move towards the Guild Knights, but they were pretty far out of position. And here we see the forces trying to close the gap with my units. Another picture, the eagles getting very close. The eagles are quite fast, it's the fastest units he has. Then in the soul phase, he declared charge with the 2 eagles, and only 1 eagle managed to get into range. The other one was too far and didn't manage to assault. One thing that I was surprised is that he didn't retreat the sorcerer. Actually, I think he should retreat the sorcerer in that point. The Spear Weaver was not doing anything there. He's going to die against the Guild Knights. I think if you retreat her from the close combat, at least you win a turn. And yeah, and then if you have the initiative in the next turn, you can even move her further. So I think here, when you are in this situation, the best option is always retreat. You don't win anything by leaving a character like that in combat and letting it being killed in your turn. Here we have the combat, and after all this combat, I don't think he attacked to my Guild Knights because it was too far from my Fey Enchantress. I killed with my Guild Knights, I killed the sorcerer, and I did some wounds to the eagle, and then also the Fey Enchantress did some wounds to the eagle. So the eagle is wounded. I think he killed 1 of my Guild Knights, if I don't remember, but yeah, this is the end. We get stacking. Let's make, yeah, this is no, it's too far to see. So this is the final, this is at the end of the turn 1. So yeah, I killed the sorcerer of the Sylvaneth. They are engaged. I think they killed only 1 Guild Knight. So this moment I sense that I'm managing, but now we go into turn 2 and we have to see who has initiative. Durtu is in range to be able to assault my Guild Knights. If Durtu is assaulting me, it can be quite painful. And we roll for the initiative, and Sylvaneth won the initiative. In the hero phase, he used a special common ability for this scenario, where you can give +1 to hit to the 3 units, and you have -1 to save. He put that on the Treeman and Durtu, so now they are quite scary in close combat. If they attack and they have the initiative, they can be very destructive. And yeah, he started moving towards me. So the eagle just moved 3 inches away from my Fey Enchantress to be able to assault in the soul phase, and Durtu just moved ahead to be, I think he's now at 7 or 8 inches from the charge. Treeman was too far because he decided to run to have the 3-man more in range. So here we see the situation. He decided to charge. The eagle went into my Enchantress. So now my Enchantress is engaged with the 2 eagles. And Durtu failed to charge. And this is really... I think this roll was critical. If Durtu had been able to solve the Grill Knights, then Durtu could kill all the Grill Knights, and then I will be in a very bad position. I think this game, this was the decisive moment of the game, one of the most decisive moments of the game, that Durtu was not able to charge into the Grill Knights. Here we see the combat, and then the 2 eagles against the Enchantress and the Grill Knights. Okay, 2 Grill Knights will be not able to contribute into the battle because they are too far. Even with the consolidation, they will be too far. And yeah, here we have another picture of the combat. And after the combat, this is the final situation. So between the Grill Knights and the Enchantress, I managed to kill both eagles. One was killed by the Grill Knights, and the second eagle was killed by the Enchantress. Between the attacks of the blade, the Enchantress is quite good in close combat. Have 5 wounds, so you see that she almost died. So it's only 2 wounds remaining. But now it's going to be my turn. I will be able to recover these 3 wounds because it's one of the powers of the Enchantress can give these 2 wounds back. So at the end, I escaped quite well from the attack of the eagles. I only lose 1 Grill Knight and some wounds on the Enchantress, but now if I have the reinforcements from my side, I will be able to resist, and I think now the situation is going to be quite balanced. So here we have again at the end of the battle. This is at the end of the turn 2 of the Sylvaneth, and yeah, this is another picture, and we will go now into the turn 2 for Bretonnia. So turn 2 for Bretonnia. And here we have all the knights arriving. You have to deploy them 6 inches from the border, within 6 inches from the border. They are coming in 3 units of 10 knights and the Lower Core. So I think the wars have passed for Bretonnia, and now I was thinking, okay, I should be able to manage and I should be able to deal well. I have to be still careful because the 3-men are quite strong in close combat. They have quite devastating attacks, but now I think I'm in much better shape. So what I decide to do here is I keep my Grill Knights in the forest, and I move just Morgana behind Lower Core. So I put Lower Core and Morgana just went behind. So the objective is to protect completely Morgana, but I mean the Enchantress. Is to protect the Enchantress, keep her alive, and then if I can use the Grill Knights for the combat. And here is the arriving of the... Not much action in my turn. I did an assault. I was just wanted to consolidate my position. I just went keep them in the forest and see what's coming on. Okay, here we have another review of the turn 2 at the end of the turn 2 of Bretonnia. Again, I use this time the hero powers, and I think I boost the Grill Knights because they were the only ones in range, because the other guys arrived just in the movement phase. Yeah, and then we are going to go into the decisive turns to see who is winning these final assaults. So we go into turn 3, and the turn 3 was for the Sylvaneth. So he moved ahead, but he was too far and he didn't manage to assault. He gave again the power that gives +1 to hit, -1 to save, but I think he was too far and he was not able to assault. So here we see them, they advance. The main problem that the Sylvaneth were facing in this stage of the battle is that they were lacking a little bit of mobility. They realized that I managed to escape from them, and now they have to face the bulk army of the Bretonnia. So here, if he tried to charge and try to kill the Grail Knights, but he didn't manage. It was too far, and he missed with the assault of the two guys. So following with that, we went to the turn 3 of Bretonnia, and now it's time to be more aggressive. So I decided to play more aggressive at this moment. I move ahead with the Knights, I move ahead with the Grail Knights. I said, okay, I can read now the Grail Knights, I have Morgana quite safe. I keep Morgana very at the back, out of reach of any of my enemies. And I decided to go and try to charge with an epic charge with Lower Lane Core, together with the Grail Knights. The Lower Lane Core can repeat to heal because he's a monster, and he repeats to hit with his blade against monsters and characters. And I boost him with the plus 2 to hit because he's novelty. So I think he should be able to deal with the 3-man because he's have 6 attacks with a sword that have rending -1 and do the 3 damage, and then we have also the attacks of the what's called this of the Griffon of the Hippogriff. And then if I didn't finish, I just send the Grail Knights. My intention is to damage as much as possible the 3-man in order that the Grail Knights don't receive a lot of lashback, and then they can finish the 3-man if it's possible. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is again the movement. Yeah, I also decided to move quite aggressive in case I have the next turn, because we have to roll for initiative. So yeah, I think this is when you play that, you have to think how to get advantage in case you have 2 turns in a row. And here I have to apologize, I forgot to take pictures after the charge. But what happened is I charged with the Grail Knights and the Lower Lane Core into the 3-man. Lower Lane Core only managed to make 1 wound to the 3-man. I hit with the sword. I did all that. I hit with all the attacks. And then when I rolled to wound with my 6 attacks, any of them roll higher than 2. So I missed all the wound rolls. Was very unlucky since that this blade didn't want to hurt the 3-man, and then the Griffon only managed to scratch 1 wound to the 3-man. Then the 3-man straight back, destroyed all the Grail Knights. He destroyed all the Grail Knights in just just with the first attack. Then with the next attacks, he did some important damage on Lower Lane Core. So really, I end up in a very, very, very bad position. So after missing completely my attacks with Lower Lane Core, I was thinking, okay, if I have the initiative, I will retreat him. I completely swapped my attacks. I need to try to save him. But yeah, this was not possible because the turn 4 went to the Sylvaneth. So Sylvaneth have the initiative in the turn 4. So in his turn, he decided to charge also Durtu against Lower Lane Core. So Lower Lane Core is in front of a 3-man, and Durtu, this is not looking very well for him. He's is very wounded. I think he's only with 4 wounds remaining, something like that. Because the 3-man killed all the Grail Knights and did a lot of damage to him. I don't know if this was the best strategy from the Sylvaneth. Maybe it was better to use Durtu against one of the packs of Knights and start killing Knights. And he was so focused on killing Lower Lane Core that I think he forgot to move the Dryads. But the Dryads, yeah, you see, they remain there behind the hill. So here we see the overview. At this moment, the battle can be very balanced. If he's killing Lower Lane Core, the battle it's again very balanced and can go in favor of any of the armies. Although I think if Durtu had charged one of the Royal Knights, he had been in better position. So this is another overview. And here we don't see the picture again, but they killed very easily. I think with the first attack they killed Lower Lane Core. So Durtu just used the first attack and killed Lower Lane Core. Lower Lane Core was out of the battle. So this mighty hero was killed very easily. after swapping all the attacks, missing all the attacks in the first when he charged. So we go into the turn form for Bretonnia. Remember, Sylvaneth has the initiative in that turn, so now we go to the turn form for Bretonnia. And here I decide, okay, I have to deal with these 3 men and I have to deal with the Dryads. I'm not very scared about the attacks of the Dryads on the Grail Knights, on the Realm Knights, sorry. So I move one pack of 10 Realm Knights to deal with the Dryads and another pack of 10 Realm Knights to deal with the 3 men. My intention is to assault just one of the 3 men, keeping another pack of 10 Realm Knights to protect the Fire Enchantress, or to keep it as a reserve. So I don't want to do, I know that normally you should do an 11, but if I charge to Durtu at the same time as the 3 men, I would have, cause damage in both units and not getting the advantage that I need. Also it's important that the Real Knights, when they are in packs of 10, they gain 1 attack. So when these Real Knights, when they charge, they will do 20 attacks with the blades and 20 attacks of horses, plus 1 attack on the blades because I have the champion of the unit. So here you see I position all my knights to charge. My intention is to charge Durtu, and the reason is because Durtu in the previous turn used again the power to give +1 to a hit and -1 to save. So now Durtu have 4+ save. So it's giving me more opportunities to wound him, to do several damage, and try to kill him in 1 charge. Because now the lances are doing also 2 damage. In the charge, the lances have +1 to wound and +1 to damage. I keep my knights, just another unit of knights just in reserve and waiting to see what's happening. And Morgana, you see, I move her to the flank. She can deal with the. I don't think she's going to be killed by the Dryads. And on top, now she's back to the 5 wounds because she's using her power to heal the wounds that he received in the turn 1 and 2. So here we have another picture before the assault. And both units managed to do the assault. I roll very high on both charges. You see I surround completely Durtu. I tried to be 3 inches away from the second 3-man, but this was not possible. So at the end, to be able, I wanted to maximize my attacks on Durtu and be sure that I can kill him in just one devastating assault. So I take the risk of having of being a strike back by the second 3-man. But my intention is to do as much damage as possible on Durtu. And I put all the knights in contact. The lances only have 1 inch range, so you should put them almost in base contact if you want to hit. You cannot have a second row of attackers. And here also these knights roll very high on the charge, and I managed to put all my knights in close combat against the Dryads. Here we see, and also against the ranged wraith, the ranged wraith, sorry. And this is the knights alone. They manage to. I start with attack to Durtu, and I kill Durtu with all the attacks. Really, the lances did a lot of damage, and then the horses just peel off the last wounds. Then I think he made a mistake because he attacked with the 3-man into my knights, and I think it was much better strategy to attack with the Dryads into the knights, because my knights are just units of 10. If you just kill one, I lose the double attacks. I lose the rule of mass attack or mass cavalry. So of course he should be, the strategy here was to attack with the Dryads. We have to say we don't play a lot, so these mistakes can happen. And we realize this at the end of the combat. So here we see he didn't attack with the 3-man yet, but he's going to attack with the 3-man. The 3-man killed. I think he attacked with the 3-man and he killed 3 or 4 knights with the attacks of the 3-man. And after the combat, I kill all the Dryads. I kill I think 17 Dryads just with the attacks. 17 or 16 dryads I kill. He hits back, he did not kill a single knight, and then with the battle shock he lost the rest of the dryads. The branch wraith is still surviving, is there engaged in combat with only one wound remaining. I have to say I concentrate most of my attacks on the dryads to try to remove this unit from the combat. And now it's looking quite well for the knights. So after this combat, yeah, no, I think I have here the upper hand, and yeah, the knights are controlling the board. I have to say the battle now is looking very unbalanced, but I think it was quite balanced all the battle except these last turns. Here we see the end of the turn 4. Okay, and then we have my other knights engaged with the 3 men. So this is a picture at the end of the turn, and you see that my Fae Enchantress now is quite in a safe spot. I don't think she's going to be injured by anything. And we go into the turn 5. And in turn 5 I won the initiative again. So I decide to do the next. I disengage the unit that you see there, the unit that is only half. So then the unit that was in combat before, I disengage them from the 3 men, and I charge with the other one. So if you have 2 units of cavalry, don't leave them engaged in close combat. You retreat and you charge with another one, because by doing that you gain again the benefits of assaulting. So this is what I did. So I retreat with the unit that was in close combat with the 3 men, and I assault with a second unit, the other unit that I leave in reserve. The third unit that was engaged with the Brent Wraith just keep the combat. There was no need to disengage. This is how it's looking like. I surrounded again the second 3 man with all my cavalry. This is an overview. Of course, these knights are going to kill the Brent Wraith. Okay, here we see. No, at this moment, I think the knights completely have the control of the board. So in my combat, I decided to do first attacks to the 3 men. This time, I didn't manage to kill the 3 men. Remember that now he has the 3+ armor save, not the 4+. So he has better save, and this is making the difference between dying or not dying. I did a lot of wounds to him. I think I moved him down to maybe 3 or 4 wounds, something like that. He's very wounded, but it's making the difference. So if Durtu did not use the power in the previous turn, most likely he had survived to the charge of the knights. And yeah, and here the Brent Wraith is killed. I have not any option against all the knights. So another picture of that, and then at the end of the combat, he did some kills on my Knights of the Ruin as well. When I charge, also I have better armor. Really, the cavalry is very, or the Bretonnia Knights have a big difference between assaulting or being assault, and you have to work to assault. And if you are engaged in close combat against something that is strong, you should retreat and assault with another unit if it's possible. So this is how it's looking like at the end of the turn 5. We get engaged. I lost some knights. I did a lot of wounds to the 3 men. Here I don't distinguish between the turn of the Sylvaneth and the turn of the knights. In that moment the battle was very fast. But you see now in that picture that I have much less knights, because in his turn he strikes again against the knights, and because I didn't charge this turn, I didn't do a lot of damage to him. So I think this unit was reduced to 6 or 5 knights at the end. Not very scared, I have enough knights now to deal with this threat. So here we see another picture at the end of the turn 5. Okay, here we see the 3 men with 2 wounds remaining. He managed to do some damage to my knights, but one is wounded. They are not. When the 3 men is wounded, is not as strong as when it's completely new. We go on to the turn 6, and you. I did the same type of movement that I did in the previous turn. I disengaged the unit that was in combat, I assault with a new unit into the 3-man, and the last Sylvaneth from my opponent army is dead. So here is where we finish. The knights, when they charge, can be quite devastating. This +1 to damage, +1 to wound, and on top, if you have a unit of 10, the +1 attack is making them quite strong in the charge. Plus, on top, the shields is also +1 to save. So it's all works in favor when you're charging, and all these bonus you don't have it when you don't charge. So it looks that was very unbalanced at the end, but I think it was really balanced until turn 3 or 4, and until this moment everybody had opportunities to win the battle, especially when he killed Nobleman Core, and the battle was completely balanced again. I think the mistake maybe first is I had more mobility than the Sylvaneth, and the other point that I think his mistake was when he didn't charge with Durtu to a different pack of knights, because instead of having 3 packs of knights I only had 2. I was not that killy, I was not that dangerous, so it will be more balanced. So I think at the end, although it looking quite an overrun from the knight side, I think was more balanced than what is looking like at the end of the battle. And on top of that, if Durtu had did the charge on the turn 2 on my Guild Knights, more likely he had won the battle on turn 2 or 3 by killing the knights and the Enchantress. So it's fine, very interesting. I like a lot the uncertainty to roll initiative in each turn. I think this is a thing that we miss in the shop. I know the shop use another com and different house rules, and they modify all of them, but I really enjoy to play with almost all the core rules from the Age of Sigmar. And at the end, as I said, victory from Bretonnia. So I have to thank a lot all Elves Are Dark for this great battle, and also for the little present he gave me for my birthday. So he gave me the one first layer, one of the candles of the first layer that I will paint soon in one of the tutorials. So yeah, it was a very interesting game. And if you want to support my channel and you more than just watching, you can support me on Patreon. And if you cannot support on Patreon, nothing happens. I will keep putting my content for free. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you don't subscribe it. And any support coming from your side is very welcome. And for now, that's all. As usual, thanks a lot for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And see you again in another time. Bye.